Hey, fight fans. It's Kimber Schaefer here with Rage in the Cage OKC News. And, I mean, after COVID, we've had a couple events. We get another one September 11th. We're so excited for Rage in the Cage 75 and our main event. I get to say that a few times because you've been our main event for Rage in the Cage more than once. It is Bryan the Lion McVea. And last time you stepped foot on a Rage in the Cage card, there was a foot
on somebody's face.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And that was just such a massive knockout. And, I mean, it was seen around the globe. I saw that shared like
18.9 thousand views.
Wow. Wow. I mean, how did you feel in that moment? I didn't get to do really much of a post-fight interview. The main event, everybody's leaving and was loud, and we had somebody injured. So
I wasn't thinking about nothing. I was thinking light thoughts because I had to get my big ass up off the ground. So I had to, muster up a bunch of energy for that. But once I did, it was over with, and it felt great.
Well, good. So what have you been doing since then?
Training and working and training and waiting to fight and then training some more.
Do you have a manager?
I do. Dale Arbuckle Bricks. Shout out.
Ah, the man.
My boy. That's
Dale.
my boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was wondering. So it's been tough for you to get fights, it sounds like. Is that just because of COVID or?
I don't know. I guess COVID. I guess I hear, people, my name get brought up and people shy away from it. I wouldn't think that's the case. No one should be afraid to fight me. Just me. I know they had a whole ass tournament in Tulsa last night, and I didn't get one phone call. Last time I checked, my phone still worked, and I didn't get one phone call. Dale Cook. You might want to think about that a little bit. Bud, he had 2 people in that tournament that I beat before. I didn't get one phone call. I ain't pissed off about it. I'm just upset.
Well, the 2 people that you beat, how did they do in the tournament?
They lost first round of the tournament.
Oh. Well.
No disrespect, neither one of them. They're good guys, good opponents. But, I mean, I'm not washed up. I still fight. So, I mean, your last fight, though, for Rage in the Cage 10 months ago, I mean, like you said, it got how many views? 4.9 million? 18,000.
18,000.
18.9 thousand.
18.9 thousand. I mean, what would you think? I mean, why do you think it's taken you so long to get a fight since then?
I don't know. I've asked. No one has any answers. And so no one knows nothing. So, I mean, I guess I got to kick some doors in and get some answers. And I can kick. I know y'all seen that. Get some answers.
That is true. And I know it's tough for pro fighters. There's only so many MMA cards out there, and there's only so many slots for pro fighters. So I get it. It's hard. I mean, I'm representing, Rage in the Cage right now, knowing that, we can't get the same fighters on every card. So there's going to be some distance in between when you get to fight for any particular promotion. But so hopefully, even if it's not for us, you can, find your way onto a fight card, not just every 10 months, right?
I'm hoping so. I like to fight every other month, if possible. That every month crap is for the birds. I've done that before. It's stressful. I mean, I'll do it, but every other month is ideal.
So walk me through your career. You've got the MMA career, the kickboxing career. Walk me through some of the pros and the cons of, where you've come so far in your career.
Oh, the pros, I would say, is I've gotten to travel. I made some lifelong friends. You meet a lot of cool people. Everyone, I mean, I wouldn't say we're a band of weirdos, but I mean we're a band of weirdos, and because we like to punch each other in the face and smile and laugh about it. But I mean, everyone's so cool, and I just love doing this. The cons, don't do this if you expect to get rich. It ain't for the money. It's about just fighting. It's about, I mean, everywhere I go, I can't help it. It's just I see somebody, I'll be like, I wonder what he fights like. Especially my size. Understand if you in my area and you my size, you're getting sized up. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I don't mean no disrespect. But, if you want to throw a punch my way, go ahead. I don't, we can figure it out. That's what I do. I just like to fight. That's really the cons is I mean, the cons ain't, training is not a con, but I mean, it's a lot of training. I'm not like one of these other fighters who just shows up and fight or don't show up because they ain't been training. I train a lot. And it doesn't get old, but it gets repetitive, but that's pretty much it.
Well, I'll tell you what you said. You as a fighter, people think that in this profession, even a local level, that you're raking in money, whether you're a fighter or like on my
Not
side
even
of
at the big level, like
Yeah.
UFC fighters still have to have 9 to 5s. They ain't paying fighters what they need to be paid. I don't see LeBron sacking groceries no place. And none of these like top level fighters should be either. They shouldn't have to struggle, to pay for training, to pay to travel and all this. It should be getting paid. I mean, we risk our lives, our health. I mean, that sums it up right there. Our lives. We sacrifice time from families, kids, miss them growing up and all that, and to go fight. And I mean, they play basketball. I mean, worst that can happen, they can blow out a knee or, hurt their back or something. But I mean, we could die, and
That's
we don't
scary.
get paid enough.
What do you think is, going to change that? What do you think is going to bring the fan base to MMA? I mean, the amount of tickets that you have to sell, I only know this on a local level. I know that I've worked for Rage in the Cage 7 years, and many events I don't ask for a paycheck because there's not always, enough to go around for everybody. And, fighters come first. You guys, like you said, you're risking limb, and everybody thinks that there's a lot of money in this, and there's not. I mean, some people might go home, we do it because we love it. It's not because of the money. But I know that the reason that I started working for Rage in the Cage was, number one, it was a ministry to me, so it was never about the money. But number two was to bring to allow fighters to have this opportunity to get your videos out there, because if UFC doesn't see a video of you guys, how are they going to know who you are? And so we started this 7 years ago. We were one of the first local MMA organizations, really nationwide, but at least in our regional area, to do pre-fight interviews and to have a YouTube channel and do the post-fight videos and stuff. So I feel like here at Rage in the Cage, at least on a local level, we're trying to do our part to get MMA kind of on the national stage, and get some notoriety out there. But what do you think that we need to do more? Not just Rage in the Cage, but everybody, as far as to get MMA.
Put me on the cards. That's how you get some national notoriety.
But it's not. I don't mean national notoriety for Rage in the Cage. I'm talking about for you fighters to bring in the crowds, the money. Fill the seats.
Fighters really, they got to do their part also. They got to market themselves. I mean, we train, but then when you're, done with training, I mean, everyone's on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter anyway. You might as well, post some videos of yourself shadow boxing and doing some real shadow boxing. Don't do no crappy, formless, no technique having shadow boxing. Do some real good shadow boxing or some workouts, or just, you see like, what's his face? Donald Cerrone. He'll post videos of him riding 4-wheelers, or, I don't want everyone to be like Conor and talk a bunch of crap, because everyone can't fight like Conor and back it up. But just, do something, put yourself out there, whatever it is, and make some noise, make waves, put people on notice that you're there.
Yeah.
And what you do,
No, I agree with all that. And then, just getting in a discussion about this from the local level. Of course, I'm just the media director. I'm not the one that pays the bills at the end of the night. But the expense of putting on an MMA show is so unreal. And I just wish that maybe that there was some shortcuts there so that the fighters could earn more of that as a payback, instead of just everything going to, renting a building, the commissions.
Yeah, definitely. I think about that side too, the whole business side. I mean, honestly, it gets on fighters' nerves when promoters like sell tickets. But when you think about it, I mean, that's what pays everybody, And so I don't, I hate it, but I honestly don't have a problem with it. I hustle, I get out there and I try to sell as many tickets as I can, because I know, to rent a venue, you got to pay the media people, you got to pay a bunch of people,
Yeah.
It's probably pretty hard as a organization owner to break even at the end of the night. You've got to pay fighters, you got to fly people in, pay for hotels. So
true.
I get the numbers game and the business of it. I mean, it's just a tough business all the way around, and you just have to hustle that as hard as you can and hope for the best.
Yeah.
Stay positive.
And I feel like that we're, collectively, not just Rage in the Cage, but the local promotions, we're trying to do our part. But I know that, when you think about putting on a show, even before you pay the fighters, I mean, I've been there. I've seen some of the bills be paid. You're probably at $8,000 to $10,000 just in expenses to put on an event before you've even paid a fight or anything.
Yeah.
So I just, I know that there has to be some ways of drawing in something, whether it be sponsors or whatever, so that the fighters, because I know that it's got to be hard, the money you guys spend to train. I guess I'm saying all of that to say that I know that the local promotions, or even UFC for that matter, I don't know how much they make at the end of the day, but I can sense that they would probably want to pay fighters more if just the market for MMA was a greater level. If we could fill an arena like the Thunder Kid,
something. I just think the martial arts community as a whole, as with anything, if we all, I don't know, we're all real competitive and everyone's got their egos out front trying to, be important and be the baddest person involved. But honestly, if we all came together and collectively put our heads together and come up with some ideas, we could find a way to the community, the martial arts community is small. It's close knit. Like, you go to an event, everyone knows everyone because we all go to the same fights, the same BJJ tournaments, everything like that. But if we could put the world on notice and make this a bigger sport as the NBA or the NFL is, and kind of take that stigma off of us that, fighters are, brain dead Neanderthals, like to party and drink and tear up stuff, and like we're criminals. Show them that, we're decent human beings, and, put on a good showing and a good public relations, campaign, then maybe we could grow this thing a bit and make it more worldwide. And, organizations like Glory, which I heard they just went bankrupt and closed. I don't know if that has to do with COVID. I don't know what that story is, but,
no, it's just easy for it to happen. I mean, look at Oklahoma. How many
there was a bunch of promotions here in Oklahoma. They're gone. There's just here and stuff in Tulsa, and it's like, what's going on? What's not happening that maybe could happen that could prevent that and allow all of us to grow and be put on notice. You know what I mean?
I have a lot of ideas, and I hope that my life has been such that I haven't been able to put those ideas into action, just with my own health issues, and then of course losing my aunt 2 years ago, and then the other one happened, the stroke. So, but I do have a lot of ideas, and I hope that one day, some of you fighters probably know I was working on a movie that was going to be filmed here in Oklahoma. I already have the part of it. Shelley, that trained with you, was actually working with me on that. We met on several occasions. I asked her to come on board with me because her and I both worked in television together, have production skills, and so I asked her to come on board with me. Of course, she's moved away now, but I do hope to get back to that someday. But then there's also some other ideas that I have to get us there. It's just a matter of having the times and the funds to get there. So I do hope that I can, play a small role in helping put MMA on the stage that I think that it deserves. But I think you're right. It's going to take all of us coming together and working together, and just
being so catty and competitive and trying to backstab and bad name everyone and cut each other down. That never works.
Right.
It never works.
Yeah, you're right. And it has been that way in the MMA industry at times, not just between fighters, but between promotions and that sort of thing. And we've tried to do our part as much as possible to stay out of that. But sometimes it's not easy when you're the one being dragged through the mud. So, but I'm glad that we're all still here standing, and I'm glad that you get to fight another day. And I know we got off a little bit on that, but it's important to be said. And I'm glad that you and I got to have that conversation for those of us in Oklahoma, because maybe it'll spur a lot of other people to have ideas, and this may be the starting point to something much bigger. So let's talk about your fight. That's what we're here to talk about. September 11th, kickboxing title. This will be our first at Rage in the Cage, as far as I'm aware, to offer a kickboxing title for a pro kickboxing matchup. So how do you feel about kind of getting the kickboxing portion of Rage in the Cage kind of off to a good start?
Feel good about it. It's been something, I like MMA, but I love kickboxing. And this is actually, I was told the other day, this would be the first pro Muay Thai fight in Oklahoma since the commission. So making a little history there.
Wow.
And we're going to do the whole 9, elbows, throws, clinch. I mean, full Muay Thai. It's going to be fun. I cannot wait.
Well, that's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your opponent.
DJ Linderman. I looked him up. He's fought some big names. Anthony Rumble Johnson. He's fought in some big organizations. He's a gamer. Got a chin. Will throw. Will stand and bang. But I like that. I prefer that as opposed to the run and dance type.
Well, good. Have you been training any differently? Looking forward to this matchup between the two of you?
I've been training a little bit differently. Just trying to expand on my game just a little bit. Just a little bit. Not a whole lot, just a little bit.
You know, I never want you guys to give away any sort of game plan or anything, so I try to ask that in a way to where, you know, you guys don't have to give me too much information, but just to know that you're changing it up some. So remind me about your record in MMA and kickboxing and just how long you've been fighting.
MMA, I'm 500. I'm 7-7. Boxing, 1-1-1, and kickboxing, I'm 5-2 with 4 KOs.
Wow. So this is definitely your sport right here, your forte.
This is what I love to do, yeah.
Well, good. Well, so I'm glad that we're able to offer a stage for that for you now, because there's just not a lot out there as far as kickboxing goes any longer. So, well, any last words, any shout-outs before we wrap it up? I
want to shout out AMA, of course, Academy of Martial Arts, and Kendrick Coleman, Thunder Muay Thai and Nutrition, Dave Cummings, 405 Buds, everybody over there, and Oak Cliff Fire Station.
All right. Well, I just found out today you are a volunteer fighter for Oak Cliff. So that was really neat to find out. So I find out something new about you guys every time I interview you. Yeah. So, well, thank you so much. I guess you have tickets in hand?
I do. I got tickets in my pocket. Actually, if y'all want to support a local fighter and help me out, I keep them on me. So if you need some tickets, and you do, come see me fight. Hopefully I can make history and, you know, have a big highlight reel to go viral, you know, thousands of views, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff. He's never done that before, though. This will be the first time. But in all seriousness, as far as I understand, we are still under capacity limits because of COVID, unless things change. And so you guys, if you want to get your tickets, I would secure them early, because what we have out right now is all that I know we're allowed to have out. Between what the fighters have and what's going to be online, and once that's gone, if nothing is turned in.
I already got half of these sold.
So if that tells you anything, get your tickets pretty quickly. So we appreciate all you fight fans. We'll see you guys Friday, September 11th at the Oklahoma City Farmers Public Market. And I believe fights get underway at 7:30. Doors usually open at 6:30, and we will see you then. Stubwire.com. Put the names in the whatever fighter you support, which obviously is Bryan McVea. Put it in the little drop-down menu there, and we'll see you then.